Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you been scrolling through your feed and seen those scary headlines? Yellowstone Supervolcano to erupt in 2025. The end is near. It sounds like something straight out of a disaster movie, right? Well, today we're going to put on our myth-busting hats, dive deep into the science of supervolcanoes, and figure out what's real and what's just internet hype. So, should you be canceling your 2025 plans? Let's find out. First things first, what even is a supervolcano? It's not just a really big volcano with a cape. The term supervolcano isn't even an official scientific term, but it's used to describe a volcano capable of an eruption that is truly massive. We're talking about an eruption that ejects more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of material. To put that into perspective, that's enough ash and rock to bury the entire state of Texas under several feet of debris. The 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens, which was huge, only released about 1 cubic kilometer. So, a super eruption is at least 1,000 times bigger. These are incredibly rare events, but when they happen, they can have a global impact. The most famous supervolcano and the star of most of these doomsday rumors is Yellowstone. Located in the beautiful Yellowstone National Park in the United States, it's not a classic cone-shaped mountain. Instead, it's what's called a caldera. Imagine a massive underground chamber of magma. After a gigantic eruption, the ground above this empty chamber collapses, creating a huge, crater-like depression. The Yellowstone caldera is enormous, about 45 by 30 miles. It's so big that for a long time, scientists didn't even realize it was a volcano. They discovered it using satellite imagery. This caldera is the result of Yellowstone's last super eruption, which happened about 631,000 years ago. So here's the million-dollar question. Is Yellowstone going to blow in 2025? The short, simple, and scientifically backed answer is no. A resounding no. There is absolutely zero evidence to suggest that Yellowstone or any other supervolcano is on the verge of a catastrophic eruption next year, or any time in the foreseeable future. So where are these rumors coming from? Well, they often stem from a misunderstanding of how we monitor volcanoes and a love for sensational clickbait headlines. Scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory are monitoring it 24/7. They have a massive network of instruments measuring everything: ground movement, seismic activity, earthquakes, gas emissions, and changes in temperature. Yellowstone is a very active place. It has thousands of small earthquakes every year, the ground rises and falls, and its famous geysers, like Old Faithful, are constantly letting off steam. This is all normal behavior for a caldera system. It's like the volcano is breathing. These signs don't mean an eruption is imminent. In fact, they show the system is releasing pressure in a healthy, non-explosive way. For a super eruption to happen, a very specific set of conditions need to be met. First, you need a massive amount of eruptible magma in the magma chamber. Right now, studies show that the magma chamber under Yellowstone is mostly solid, like a big, hot, crystalline sponge with only about 5 to 15% of it being liquid magma. You need a much higher percentage of liquid for a super eruption. Second, that magma has to be able to move upwards. And third, there has to be enough pressure to break through the Earth's crust. If an eruption of that scale were on the horizon, we would see dramatic warning signs for weeks, months, or even years beforehand. We're talking about massive swarms of intense earthquakes, the ground swelling up by meters, not just centimeters, and huge changes in gas and heat emissions. We are seeing none of that. Let's talk about the so-called eruption cycle. You might have heard that Yellowstone erupts every 600,000 years or so. Its major eruptions were about 2.1 million, 1.3 million, and 631,000 years ago. If you do the math, the average time between them is roughly 700,000 to 800,000 years. So even based on that very rough average, we're not overdue. But more importantly, volcanoes don't run on a strict schedule like a train. They aren't alarm clocks. These averages are just that, averages over millions of years. Predicting an eruption based on them is like saying because you ate lunch at noon yesterday, You will definitely eat lunch at exactly noon for the rest of your life. It's just not how nature works. The most likely type of eruption at Yellowstone isn't a super eruption at all. It's a much smaller hydrothermal explosion or a lava flow. Hydrothermal explosions happen when superheated water flashes to steam, and they can create small craters. They happen every few hundred years. The most likely volcanic event is a lava flow. The last one was about 70,000 years ago. These are slow-moving flows of lava that would be contained mostly within the park boundaries. While they would be significant events locally, they are not the global catastrophe that the internet doomsday prophets talk about. In fact, since the last super eruption, there have been about 80 of these smaller, non-explosive lava flow eruptions. So, statistically, that's what we'd expect next, not another super eruption. So why do these 2025 myths persist? It's a combination of things. Fear sells. A headline about a world-ending volcano gets way more clicks than a calm, scientific explanation. These stories are often spread by people who either do not understand the science or are deliberately trying to scare people for views and ad revenue. They'll take a real scientific fact, like the ground at Yellowstone rose by a few centimeters, and twist it into the ground is bulging, the eruption is starting, without providing any of the crucial context. It's important to always check the source of your information. Is it from a reputable scientific organization like the USGS, NASA, or a major university? Or is it from a random blog or a YouTube channel with dramatic music and a skull in the thumbnail? The reality is the chance of a Yellowstone super eruption in any given year is about 1 in 730,000. To put that in perspective, you have a much higher chance of being struck by lightning in your lifetime. So while it's a fascinating and powerful natural phenomenon to study, it is not something you need to lose sleep over. The scientists who dedicate their lives to studying Yellowstone are not panicking, and neither should we. They are diligent, they are prepared, and they would be the very first to tell us if there was any real cause for concern. In conclusion, the idea that a supervolcano is going to erupt in 2025 and end the world is pure fiction. It's a myth fueled by misinformation and a fascination with disaster. The science is clear. All the activity at Yellowstone is normal. There are no signs of an impending super eruption. So please don't let these scary stories ruin your day or your plans for the future. Instead, let's appreciate these incredible geological wonders for what they are. Powerful, beautiful, and a reminder of the dynamic planet we live on. Be curious, ask questions, and always seek out reliable information. Thanks for joining me to debunk these myths today. I hope this cleared things up and put your mind at ease. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into science and our amazing world. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.